youngster, a lot of schools chasing you, but you knew early on you wanted to be a Wolverine. How did you know so early that Michigan was a place for you?
Yeah, I grew up watching Michigan and going to Michigan football games, and somebody told me at the very beginning of my recruiting process, when you know, you know, and it's kind of hard to describe that feeling if you haven't felt it before, but uh, I felt it and I knew, and so I pulled the trigger early, and it's been home ever since. So
Yeah, man, and never wavered. As a matter
yeah,
of fact, one of the things you did was try to help pull other guys
yeah,
in, and so you look at guys like Avery and
hmm
and Caden, and the guys here in the state of Michigan. That was a big part of the core of this class and
hmm
the kind of the anchor of this class, and eventually now Bryce, of course. But yeah, you guys, do you feel like you're the anchors of this class?
absolutely. I feel like if you're in Michigan and you don't go to Michigan and you have the opportunity to go to Michigan, you're doing something wrong, in my opinion. Um, Best place to be academically and football wise, and on top of that, you can be a great human being while you're doing it all. So, I think we started it off early and kind of instilled a belief in everybody else and in the class and the country that even the people inside the state that have been around it the most believe in it enough to stay home. So I think that holds a lot of power.
So Bobby, it's interesting you say that because belief in Michigan for you, it had to be tested. It's not like it's in this unwavering
hmm
thing. The coaching staff changed.
Absolutely.
So, your belief gets tested and you have to say, okay, what do I believe in? And let me meet these new guys and see if the belief is still there. And you found out it was. Kind of talk us through that.
Yeah, I think naturally when a big change like that happens, you have to kind of take a step back and evaluate what's going on. And I think that's the only natural thing that can happen. And so throughout that whole process, all I could do was try my best to get to know the new staff and see what they're all about and what they wanted to do. And I couldn't be happier with who they brought in, and Coach Espo and all the other coaches and Coach Wink. And I think they did a great job. And over time of building relationships with them and seeing how they coach and how they treat their players, I think it was a great move, and I couldn't be happier with what they did. So they made it pretty easy to want to stay here. So
Yeah, I saw Coach Espo at your game, man. It felt like he was grinning ear to ear the whole, the whole game,
yeah,
right? And so, what about Coach Espo? What about the connection you've been able to forge with him? What's that connection like, and what do you think of
yeah.
him as a coach?
I mean, I've always been a pretty easy guy, and so Coach Espo, I've said this in multiple interviews before, but him being a straight shooter with you is just a type of guy I want to be around. I think that's the best way to grow and the best way to improve yourself, and you got to be able to take criticism and also get your praise when you need it. So I think he's the perfect coach for me to be around, and I think he's going to help me grow the most. And just his ability to tell the truth while also coaching at the same time is very valuable to me, and you can see that and how his players play. They play for him and play hard for him. So
So, I have my impressions of you as a player, Bobby. Haven't seen you so much over the years, but I like to have guys kind of talk about themselves and
mhm.
break themselves down. So why don't you do that for your fans? And you got all the folks on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So appreciate all the folks on all the streams who watch us over on the Michigan Insider. Appreciate you for showing the love, but tell all the folks watching right now what they'll see when they watch Bobby Kanka on the football field.
Yeah, I'm not the flashiest football player. I know that. I'm not going to try to be the flashiest football player. I'm not doing a bunch of celebrations after I get a TFL. I know it, but I do know I play with technique. I play with effort, and in my opinion, that's really all you need to play defensive line. And I think I do it at a very high level. Um, like I said, play with technique, get off the ball, and go make plays. I think you can make a living off that, and I think Michigan's defensive line this year has shown a lot of that. It's just playing with your technique and playing physical, and I think that's really, if you watch my film, you'll see me doing that a lot and making plays. So
So, guys that you were able to form relationships with, you because you're one of the earliest guys in the class, it feels like you're one of the guys who has some of the maybe the have some of the most strongest or maybe the most relationships
yeah,
in the class, right? You know more of the guys,
hmm
and so we're gonna be talking to Eli Owens
yeah, yeah.
coming up. So, what about Eli? I like to have you talk about some of the other guys. So, what about Eli? What can you tell us about Eli Owens?
Eli, just a great guy, great family. Every time I find out they're coming up to a game, it puts a smile on my face. I'm gonna be roommates with him and Avery come 2-3 weeks, so I'm pumped. They're just great guys. Very similar mindsets, which is what makes our recruiting class so good and why it will be so good. It's just because they're recruiting guys with very similar mindsets and very similar goals. And so that'll make it really easy to kind of bond on and off the field and be able to have on-field success and off-field success. But Avery as a person, just a great guy, big character, obviously, as you know. But
Yeah.
one of my favorite guys to be around. You go do anything with that guy and have fun. So I'm just pumped to be with him and spend time with him and become his brother.
So I'm trying to remember. Have you matched up with Avery?
No, I've not.
Haven't I?
No, no, no.
So I mean, because I'm people who match up with Avery
Yeah.
say that he kind of goes a little extra
Yeah.
out there, like
Yeah.
not to the whistle, but kind of like past the whistle. You think that's accurate?
Absolutely. Not saying it's a bad thing though. So
not a bad thing when you know your
no,
team, right?
absolutely not. So I'll take it. No, he's a baller. I watch his film and I'm impressed every time. He gets better and better every week. Another guy I just can't wait to be with and hang out with. We'll be best friends living with him too. So great athlete, great football player, great dude, just the whole package.
Yeah, I got to have you talk about Coach Moore before we let you go. They just went down to Columbus and done what no one really gave them a chance to do. At least no one outside of Ann Arbor. I mean, you listen to us, we were talking about they haven't having a chance to do it, but that had to do with belief, man. They had to believe in their coach in order to be able to do that. So you obviously had to believe in him to be committed here. What about that? What about Coach Moore?
I think the most glaring thing is just the guys. Like he can say all he wants and do whatever he wants, but the response he gets from his guys really proves that he's doing what he's preaching. And so I think that just shows me, along with all the rest of the recruits, that he's really doing what he's saying he's going to do. All the guys, you see Mason Graham run up to him after the game and give him a big hug. Mason isn't the loudest guy, but he, even the quietest guy on the team, has a big bond with Coach Moore. And so I think that shows a lot in who Coach Moore is as a coach and a player. And if you can get however 100 guys to buy in when they're 20 years old, I think you're doing something right. So I'm hoping to add on to that count and buy into Coach Moore and do whatever he wants us to do to win.
All right. So before we let you go, I see some people over there who helped you get here. Right over there. And by the way, big supporters of the Michigan football breakdown.
Absolutely.
Focus on the offense with Al Borges and Vance Bedford. Like, wait a minute. I hear talk about Borges and some of the things that Vance. So they watch all the shows. So appreciate that. But mom and dad helped you get here, man. So what about that?
Yeah, just very thankful and very blessed. Been put in a great position for my family and just doing everything they can to put us and my siblings in the best spot possible to succeed. It's sad to kind of leave home, but like I don't even get sad about it. Like some people are saying, "Oh, you got to go leave your family." No, I look at it as another step in my life and another opportunity I have to make them proud. So like it's not sad for me to leave at all. In my opinion, I just want to go and make them even more proud. So for me, it's more opportunity to go make them more proud than I've already made them because they deserve it all. So I just thank them and my family and my coaching staff, my teammates, my brothers back at school, just accepting me and allowing me to be the best version of myself. So,
well, Bobby, proud of you, man. I feel like we watched you grow up.
Thank you.
I do. I feel like we watched you grow up. I mean, you were always a big dude from the time we saw you, but way bigger now. And about to watch you get even bigger as you get over to Schembechler Hall and do your thing at the University of Michigan. So congratulations, man. Can't wait to see you do your thing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Bobby Kanka.